4 days ago, the American Air Force fired a missile from a drone that doesn't have a cockpit and has no pilot inside it. That drone, Anduril 44A, took off from the Edwards Air Force Base, received a target from autonomous software, and launched an AIM-120 all by itself, as instructed. 3 days before that, Türkiye Bayraktar KIZILELMA fired a supersonic missile from 120 kilometers away and hit a moving maritime target with pinpoint accuracy. Both of these happened in the same week. Both happened in real, live fire tests. And both are pointing to the same problem. Türkiye Kaan'S fifth generation fighter, the crown jewel of Turkish aviation, is being lapped by platforms that don't even exist yet. But that's not even half of what happened this week in Turkish defense. Let me walk you through it quickly because the full picture is even more telling. Here's what's on docket for this week Intel Prime Video. First, 4 stories you might have missed. The new Gökbey helicopter simulator. Egypt's surprise defense deal with Turkey. Perfect test score for MKE Tolga. And a radar that's being called Invisible Brain for Anka. Second, we have Kizilelma breakthrough, the Jet 230 test that changed everything. Third, the American response, what the 44A test actually means. The real problem, why software, not hardware, is the crisis Turkey is facing right now. The loyal wingman lawyer, why Kaan needs both manned and unmanned system to succeed. And Kuzgun wildcard on the 6th and final for this weekly Turkey 1000 kilometers loitering munition. Why the clock is ticking faster than anyone expected. Let's go into it. Havelsan Gökbey Helicopter Simulator. Turkish state company Havelsan just unveiled Göksim, the full-scale simulator for the T-625 Gökbey, Turkey domestically built attack helicopter. This isn't just a concept. Serial production helicopters are already rolling out and operators are training in a simulator built entirely in Turkey. That matters because it means every aspect of the platform, from design to training to maintenance, stays domestic Turkish product. Egypt just signed $350 million defense agreement with Turkey covering technology transfer, joint manufacturing, and export distribution of Turkish military equipment across Africa and the Middle East. More importantly, Egypt is being brought into 5 main projects, including what multiple sources are describing as a potential participation in Kaan'S stealth fighter program itself. If Egypt helps build Kaan, the Turkey stealth fighter moves from being a Turkish national program to regional industrial base. As we know today, also the interest in Kaan showed some states like Saudi Arabia. MKE Tolga proves itself again. In front of a delegation of roughly 150 people, including defense ministry officials and potential international buyers, the MKE Tolga air defense system just posted 100 success rate across 7 different combat scenarios. 7 for 7. That's not marginal, that's the system that's already being exported to Qatar, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and it just proved by Aselsan Murad Radar, the invisible brain. The Murad AESA nose radar, the same system already flying on unmanned fighter like Kizilelma, isn't just a radar. Aselsan described it as an invisible brain, capable of conducting simultaneous search operation in multiple regions, tracking egal targets at the same time, and managing multiple parallel operations through time sharing. That's artificial intelligence at the sensor level, not just the platform level. Now here's how it all connects to what actually happened with the missiles and the unmanned fighter. Let's go deeper. On July 11th, 2026, just over a week ago, the serial production model of Bayraktar KIZILELMA tail number S2 took off from the 5th main jet-based command in Merzifon, Turkey, carrying 2 Roketsan Jet 230 supersonic air-to-ground missiles under its wings. What makes this different from everything Kizilma had done before. This is a standoff weapon. For the first time, Kizilelma demonstrated the ability to strike a target from outside visual range, using a live supersonic missile against a real maritime target from the distance exceeding 120 kilometers. Rocket Sun Jet 230, derived from the slower UAV 230, gains extra range when fired from a fast, high-flying platform like Kizilelma, which cruises near Mach 0.9. The missile advertising maximum range is over 200 kilometers. This test was conducted conservatively, but the accuracy was perfect. The mistake struck with the Bayraktar called bull's-eye precision. Put this in context. Kizilma now has an air-to-air kill from November 2025 using the Gökdogan missile and now confirmed air-to-ground standoff strike using supersonic munition. In less than 8 months, Turkey unmanned fighter went from being a test article to demonstrating every mission role a real Air Force actually needs. Now here's what gets urgent. On July 10th, one day before Kizilma test, the US Air Force ran its own live fire test. Anduril 44A collaborative combat aircraft, the so-called loyal wingman, just like the Australian BAT, the Air Force is betting its entire future on fired an AIM-120 air-to-air missile at the digital target of the Mojave Desert. Same week, two different countries, the unmanned fighters, both proving they can shoot live missile autonomously. But here's the critical difference nobody's talking about, and it's the reason Kaan'S is running out of time. Let me be direct. What you are watching in these two tests, they look similar, but they're fundamentally different because one of the things, the software making the decision. Anduril 44A fired its missile using a system called Lattice, Anduril's own autonomous mission software. The aircraft took off, Lattice ingested a target track, an operator tasked the aircraft to engage, and the aircraft fired as instructed, all end-to-end. That's a complete chain. Data input, autonomous processing, human-in-loop decision, weapon release, all integrated within a single software ecosystem. Now look at what Kizilelma did. A pilot or operator guided it to launch point. Kizilelma fired a missile that Rocket Sun built, a target that was presumably pre-planned or data linked in. That works. It's impressive, but not the same level of integrated autonomous decision making. Or is it? The software which Turkey is already developing is showing AI management, and it's possibly that it's not led by human resources. You can give any jet the best hardware on Earth, but if the software controlling the engagement sequence is foreign, owned by a foreign power, operated on foreign server, or dependent on foreign data links, then you don't actually own your own Air Force. So this is what you do it. You rent it. Turkey understand this. That's exactly why the Kaan'S program exists in the first place, because buying F-35 means letting Lockheed Martin and Washington control your combat decision. Kaan'S was supposed to solve that problem by building everything domestic. But as it stands right now, Kizilelma has shown it can execute more complex autonomous missions than Kaan'S has even flight tested yet. And Kizilelma is a test article that wasn't supposed to exist past 2023. This is actual crisis which Turkey may face it, but it's not just a hardware crisis. The most important is how it will be solved on software issues. Here's what Turkey's strategy is actually supposed to be. Once it gets Kaan'S into production, Kaan'S is the man node, the pilot, the sensor hub, the decision maker. Kizilelma becomes the loyal wingman, an autonomous platform that executes mission under Kaan'S direction, takes the dangerous jobs, and extends Kaan'S reach exponentially without putting a pilot at additional risk every single time. And that's the manned-unmanned teaming concept, loyal wingman concept. A single Kaan'S pilot could theoretically direct multiple Kizilelma simultaneously, each one with its own sensor suite, its own weapons load, its own autonomous decision making within a pilot-defined parameters. Turkey already demonstrated this in formation flights. Kaan flying with two Anka-3 drones, the manned fighter supervising weapons sequences and engagement timing. But here's the clock. Kizilelma is proving autonomous capabilities faster than Kaan is getting built. If the Kaan program doesn't accelerate, if it doesn't move from prototypes to serial production in the next 24 months, then the loyal wingman becomes the primary and the manned fighter becomes secondary. That's not strategy, that's losing control of your own air force. That's why the 44A test proves that exactly where the world is headed. Unmanned platform that doesn't need a pilot to make targeting decision anymore. They need an operator, sure, and a human has to stay in loop, but the cognitive load on that human is dropping with every test cycle. That's the trajectory no one wants to recognize, but it's going to happen. While all of this is happening with fighters and wingmen, Turkey is quietly developing something even stronger. Kuzgun, 1000 plus kilometer range loitering munition, basically a jet-powered kamikaze drone that stays airborne for 6 hours before being directed to a target. STM, the Turkish defense contractor building this, described its strategic force that will shift the balance in deep operational areas. It has a low radar signature and claims to have autonomous structure resistant to electronic warfare. Put this on board alongside KIZILELMA, Kaan'S, and the new Havasoy electronic warfare aircraft, and you're looking at an entire Turkish Air Force ecosystem designed to operate without depending on any single piece of American technology, any foreign communication satellite, or any foreign software stock. That's the real goal. Kaan'S isn't really the price, it's the linchpin. Everything else, loyal women, long-range loitering munition, electronic warfare, integrated autonomous network, all of this depends on Kaan'S being in production and operation. France Rafale has been in service for nearly 30 years. America F-35 is now delivering to 20 countries. America new CC drone, the 44A, just proved it can fire missile autonomously. Australia MQ-28 goes bad, already succeed with a BVR kill. Kizilelma is 3 years old. Kaan'S doesn't exist as a combat-ready aircraft yet, just mock-ups. The gap is closing, and not in Turkey if it's stuck in this kind of Kashmir. The Eurofighter Turkey just ordered from UK, they arrive in 2029. The F-35 Trump might hand back to Turkey. Even if he does, there are foreign software, foreign command structure, foreign updates, something else, timeline, and maybe it's intentionally locked up. More informed experts say that even you need upgrade on the software every week. So if Turkey is going to bleed USA for every software update, it will be getting a real hot issues about F-35 program. By 2029, when those Eurofighters land in Ankara, the unmanned fighter race will be 3 years further along, and Kaan'S needs to be operational, not still prototype testing. Here's the strategic reality. Turkey can buy all foreign fighter if it wants, but the loyal wingman future, the one where a single pilot directs a cloud of unmanned and semi-autonomous platforms, that's not something you can import. That's something you build, and then you build really fast. Kaan'S isn't just a fighter jet, it's a software node that ties together every other piece of Turkey defense ecosystem. If it's late, the Kizilma is amazing but orphaned. It's late, then Kuzgun is powerful but untethered. It's late, then Turkey's entire strategy of defense industrial autonomy doesn't actually work. So it needs to be getting faster and faster. So here's the strategic reality. The race is no longer just about building the best fighter. It's about building the best network, a system where a crewed fighter like Kaan'S supervises, coordinates, and executes alongside unmanned platforms like Kizilelma, Kuzgun, and other systems operating in parallel. Turkey has proven it can build both. What it hasn't yet proven is that it can integrate them into a fully autonomous network, fast enough to match what the US, China, and France are already deploying. Kaan'S isn't outdated before it enters service. It shouldn't be. But the definition of what makes a fighter competitive has fundamentally changed. A fast jet with good sensors isn't enough anymore. You need the jet, the drones, the software architecture, the data linking, the pilot interface, all working as one system, not 7 separate programs running in parallel. Here's the question I want you to wrestle with the comments. Which is harder, building the Kaan aircraft itself, building the software and doctrine to make Kaan work as the nerve center of an entire unmanned and manned teaming ecosystem? The answer to that question is why Kaan timeline matters so much. It's not about the jet, it's about the network. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you want clear, fact-based military analysis without the noise, subscribe to Intel Prime, join for the next report. Thank you for watching and see you next time.